Hi guys, so I did a video earlier about a store haul, and I showed um, these turtle filters, the FX-350, and I'm actually going to be putting this together for you guys and showing you how to install it real quick. It's pretty straightforward actually. There's some instructions, but nothing crazy. So this is by Exoterra, as you can see, and this is a little instructional pamphlet. Tells you what all's in here, all that kind of good stuff. So when you open the box, this is the first thing you get, and these are all your little fixtures. All of these are actually really important. So try not to lose anything. So there's those. And then here is the tubing for it. And you have two of them. And these are actually long enough to where you can have them, I think they're about 3 feet long. And these are meant to actually be cut to length. And I forgot my scissors. Give me one sec. Yeah. So I just have some sewing scissors. And I use sewing scissors for most things. Like even just cutting paper. Sewing scissors are actually a lot sharper than paper scissors. So I can actually even cut like wire and things like that with these. Not like super thick wire, not like hanger wire, but like fake plants, you know, that have the wires in them. Then I can cut them with these pretty good. So there's those. This, I don't actually use this, or I haven't in the past. It's got a cap that goes on the end of it, and then the other end hooks up to your outtake on your filter, and what it does is it has holes in it, and it makes like a waterfall effect. And we just didn't like the way it looked, so we actually put our outtake in the water. If you wanted to use that tube, this is what it would look like. But I might actually try to do it like this, because before, when we had the tubing in the water for her, then she would pull the tubes out of place, and so they'd kind of be flopping around instead of fixed to the glass like they're supposed to be. So I'll look and see if I can't cut them to fit like this instead of the other way. So there's that, and here's the actual filter. This is called a canister filter. And this is the fixture to hang it off the side of the tank. Now, you don't have to hang it off the side of the tank. If you have space to set it on a tabletop, you can do that too. It's got some things on it for you to do that. And when you do this, make sure your wire, when you put this ring on, make sure your wire is facing away from the glass on your tank. So, and you got to make sure these are facing, okay, you want these facing the same way as your wire, where your wire comes out. So, like that. And so it'll sit like that. Actually, yeah, okay, I want it like this. You don't have to have it this way, but I'm doing it this way because the plug-in is going to go to the back of the tank. So I'm going to do that. And then let me show you the insides real quick. There are charcoal compartments, and there's sponge filter compartments as well. You do have to be careful and make sure that when you take it apart that you pull this straight and you don't bend this at all, or else you can essentially break it. So here's the inside. Sorry, the lighting's a little bad. And you have the sponge filters, and then some charcoal bags. Now you can buy, let's see, it's a pretty coarse sponge. I don't know if y'all can see that really well. But all these compartments come apart, so if you need to deep clean your filter, you can. This is just charcoal. These are just little bags of charcoal. But you can just take loose charcoal and fill this compartment up with it. Which is what I do when, you know, it gets bad. It needs to be replaced. This is just charcoal too. But yeah, and when you, when you take these out, you want to make sure you put maybe if I can grab it, these ones on the right side, the side that they're supposed to go, because there's actually a hole going all the way through it, and that's what this fits through. So there's that. Here's this top part. Come on. Why aren't you wanting to go? Oh, it is. Okay. No, something's off. There we go. And it's got 2 clips on these ends and 2 clips on these ends. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have to do much with that. Just check to make sure everything's in it. And then here we have these 2 tubes. These really short tubes, and they come with the fixture bag. And what you want to do is you want to pull out your elbow pieces. You have 2 of these, and you do need both of them. And what you do is you just pick a side and you put one of the small tubes. And you want to try to get this tubing as close to the threads as possible. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. And then what you're going to do, I wish these, my only complaint is that these are plastic. I wish they were, well, metal really, or a harder plastic. If you're not careful, if you twist this too tight, you can break these nuts. So you want to be careful. And that's twisted down pretty tight. So there's one. And these are really tight fitting, so really you don't need these. But if you have a turtle like I do, she's a side neck, then they'll hit these. And if they hit them too much, they can loosen them, and sometimes they'll fall off or start to leak. So these threaded nut things are pretty good. There's my cat Gizmo just out of frame there. She's watching me like a hawk. Okay, so what you do after you get these done, I'm going to actually close them. That worked. Close this box and use it for a platform, so I don't have to bend over as much. So there we go. Since I have the things here, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take these and you're going to want to point them to the where they can hang over the side of your tank, so the up against the glass side, essentially the back of the filter. Like if you're looking at the filter from the front, then this would be the front and this would be the back, and you want them facing towards the back so it'll hang over the edge of your tank. And these again have the nuts and the threads. And they don't have to be super, super tight, just enough to where there's not very much wiggle room. And these are slightly harder because you don't have as much finger space, but not impossible. So there's that one. I am missing a nut, actually. Here it is. Ow. Well, come on. Trying to get this tube. There we go. So this is what it's going to look like to hang over the side of your tank. And then to actually hang it off the side of the tank, we have these brackets. Not really brackets, they're more like little hooks, and this will hang over the side of your tank like this. And I'm just going to snap it in this this last slide. And I put the bracket on upside down. Okay. So I had it on like this on the filter. And see how this is round? If you look on the bracket, the round part needs to go on the bottom. So make sure you turn it over so it can slide in. And this is really secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And the weight of the tank, or not the tank, the weight of the filter, because it's going to be full of water, is going to press down on this, so there's no way it's going to come loose. Unless, of course, it breaks, but that I've never heard of that happening, so. Unless somebody, like, messed with it, you know. So that's what it should look like. And then, essentially, you want this to be facing the same way as this. So like that. Alright, I'm going to actually hang this on the tank real quick, and then I'll get to the rest of these tubes and things. Okay. That's not super good. Give me a sec to rearrange my tripod. Yeah, that's not a very good angle. Give me a few seconds and I will figure this out. Actually, here, I'll just stick you on this chair here. Alright, so that's not clear at all. So we'll just do that. Okay. So here's the rest of my hardware. I have this tube. And actually, here's the one from our former filter. As you can see, we didn't really use it. But I think I'm going to try it again. Just because, why not? So here's all of our hardware. This goes on the intake, so any big particles or like if a fish dies or something, it won't get sucked up into the filter and burn up the filter. This is for the outtake, so this tube with the holes in it goes like that. And then like that. Or you can actually turn it and have it angled a little and it'll spray out a little bit. I think we're going to try that actually. And then to hold it onto the glass, what are you? I actually don't know what this is for. Give me 1 sec. Let me take a look. Yeah, I'm not... I don't know what that one's for. I don't remember that in the other tank, or the other filter. So there's that. Here's the end cap for our spray tube. I just dropped it. There we go, and that's pretty snug. Gotta force it on there a little bit, but there it is. And then this, it's also for the outtake if you decide you don't want to use this. And I'll probably set up the other one with this, since I have 2 filters going on this tank, because it is such a big tank and this turtle is very, 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 very dirty. So I'll do one like this and one like this, and whichever I like better, then I'll decide. And then to fasten your tubing to the glass on the inside, you actually have 4 of these suction cups with the brackets on them. So let's get started. I'm actually going to measure this tubing, try to get it a little straightened out. So I'm going to measure on the outside. And this seems about from the end of the filter tube almost to the bottom. Yes, hi Kiki. I'm going to take my scissors here and cut this as straight as I can. That way this fits on nicely. And I think rather than cutting my other long tube, I'm going to use that other bit that I just cut off to do the outtake, because the outtake's going to be a lot shorter than the intake. And then you just gotta squish this into I can't remember if this goes inside or around this bit. We'll figure it out. Hold on. It almost feels like it should go inside the it's got a little latch there, so you can do this and clean it out real good. And I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I think it goes over the this bit, but that's gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna take the end that I need this to go on and actually slide it over this to stretch it out a little. It almost fits. I don't know why it's not wanting to fit correctly. It looks like it goes over and then it looks like it goes under. Okay, so since that's not working, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and put them inside and just kind of twist it, and that should stretch out this tube enough so I can get it around that intake thing. And I'm actually going to pull these apart as much as I can without ripping the tubing, and that's also going to stretch it. Oh, it's so close. Okay, so this is not wanting to fit. Okay, I'm going to resort to the inside again. No, that's not going to work. It's supposed to fit. I promise. It is. So close. Oh, come on. Okay, so this is not wanting to fit at all. I don't remember having this much trouble with the last one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put this tube in. I feel like there was another tube. No, the box is empty. I feel like there was another hard tube that went down. I can't remember. Let's see. I will get this to fit. Alright. I'm going to cut a little sliver off of here just so it fits in that other bit. So now I have a V, and this is going to close a little smaller. So it should fit in our thing here. Come on. Haha. Okay, so if you guys have as much trouble as I did getting this in, if you cut a V, you can get it on. I still feel like I'm missing a piece though. Alright. So then before I put it in the water, I'm going to... What is it in and what is it out? I think this is in. Yes, this is in, this is out. Right? Okay, this is out. It's actually labeled right here. I don't know if you guys can see where I'm pointing. Okay, so it's labeled here. You actually can't see what I was doing at all. Okay, so it's labeled right here. Alright, sorry about that. So there. Yes, so this is the in. And then I'm going to take my clampy thingies with the suction cups and put them on. And there's 4 of these, so 2 for the intake tube and 2 for the outtake. Alright, so there's that. And I do have a towel. I don't know if you can see my cat. Alright, this is a long video, I'm sorry. And this is just a little long, so I'm going to undo this part, cut it a little, and then put it back. I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch off. A 1/2 inch. Alright, so there's that one. Now we're going to see. Okay. So I'm actually going to do this part first. This is my out. This is where the water will come out, which is the side by the cord where the plug-in is. And I'm going to cut it about right here. And then we have this with our L on the end of it. And I think, yeah, okay. And then what you do is you take this, and you put it here. Come on. First time my hand's a little wet. There we go. Okay. So we should. Alright, that's good and on there. Now, never just turn this on. You never want to just turn a filter on after you get done putting it together, especially this one because it will burn up. You absolutely have to make sure to take this little knob off here. Maybe I can get it off. There we go. And it's really tight just because it's supposed to be. It should come out, but it's not. There we go. So it's got a rubber gasket here around the rim right there. And then it's got this, it's like a little sink thing. Not a sink, a stove turner. I'm going to go grab a cup real quick, and then we'll fill our filter up with water. I just stepped on something very hard. I guess it's this staple. Alright. So I'm not going to use anything but the water from the tank. And you can actually see the water through this side of the filter. Don't want to do too much at once. And this is called priming. You have to prime your filter. Because if you don't, it'll get very, very hot really, really quickly and essentially blow up. Or burn out, whatever you want to call it. You want to try not to fill it to where it's pouring out of this hole. Well, I mean, obviously. Alright, now I can just see the water here. It's not above the line where the gasket's going to go, so it should be plenty. And then you're going to take your knobby knob, put it back in. Maybe. Come on. Love me. And then, well, you're supposed to turn it. Where'd you work on? Alright, I'm going to use my scissors again like a ripper. Maybe not. It's very tight. If you do not get this to close, it will not turn on. Just so you know. Almost looks crooked in there. What's going on? There you go, it was a little crooked. Okay, so this should be parallel, like pointing to both of your tubes. And since that is done, I'm going to untie my wire and plug it in, and it should be good to go. And of course it's way out of the way. You can see how it's doing that kind of waterfall thing. The water sounds pretty loud, and I don't necessarily like it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that tube to where the hole is face down a little more. Maybe. Alright. And there you have it. So that is how you put the Exoterra FX-350 together. I am extremely sorry for the very long video, but that took a while. I did not think it was going to take that long. But let me fix what I just broke. Alright, there. Move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. And there you go. Nice and pretty. And clean. I have another filter here. It's not really a filter, it's more of a pump, and that just creates water flow. And then I have a bubbler here that creates really high surface tension to prevent that, film that turtles can sometimes get. And then now I have this, and I'll probably put the other one over here just like it. Alright, thanks for watching. Really sorry that it took forever. There's the turtle, all her fish, and you have a good night.